So you're an independent artist who's trying to succeed in the music business. I'm going to explain to you guys the main fundamentals that you need to know so you don't up and you don't mess up like these other artists that are lost and don't know what to do, get overwhelmed, and end up just not doing anything. So I'm going to break it down super simple. I'm going to just kind of give you guys the main insights that I have at the moment so you can kind of understand what you're building and understand where to go from here, right? So the whole premise of an independent artist is that they're trying to own their music. That's the whole premise of it. They don't want to have a record label. They don't want to have a bunch of other third parties that are taking a lot of the fees and having control of the music. So that's kind of the first principle of being an independent artist. And we'll start with that before we get to like the actual like monetization side of things. So I'm gonna go over the main premise of it and what we're actually trying to build here. So the main premise is that each song, which let's just kind of do a little music symbol. Each song is what we know as in the realm of ownership as IP is what you might hear, or intellectual property. Long story short, because we're trying to make this super simple, all of this means is ownership or an asset, right? So you want to understand that ownership is the actual game that we're playing. The intellectual property is just the actual term of each song, each thing that's created. It's your intellectual property, but the main thing is ownership. And every single song that you release is part of that catalog, part of that category of ownership. And the goal is to have enough songs under your catalog that are paying you royalties, that are paying you because you created something that is yours and it's producing it's producing every single time, and all you have to do was create it once. So that's why it's so powerful, and that's why you see a lot of record labels pay you up front like $100,000, a $250,000, because for them it's better to just give you upfront cash and they control the catalog. We want to have control of the ownership as well as learning how to monetize what we're creating, because for them it's easier just to pay you some cash, actually own this for a couple years, and have control over you, which is like the opposite of what we're trying to do. Another thing that you guys are probably doing wrong is also just focusing on streams from these companies like DistroKid, United Masters. There's more ways to get royalties than just these one platforms that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are only focused on. There's like 4 to 5 and even more companies that you register your music with, and now you start getting royalties from other companies instead of just the streaming part. I can make a video on that as well, and then we can go from there, but for now let's just focus on what we're talking about of ownership. So eventually, when your catalog is big enough because you have a bunch of songs under your catalog, now this is leverage, because now you could start using this for the actual thing that matters. You could be a really good artist, but if you're missing this one thing, everything is just useless. Just throw it all down the trash. Who cares? The thing that many people are missing, and this is literally why a lot of people rather go with the record label, because they're going to do this part of the actual like formula, right? And after you have a catalog, this is the most important thing. Attention. Attention is literally the most important thing that you could do as an independent artist, as just a musician, as someone that is a creator. If you don't have attention, all of your catalog is worthless. So a lot of people rather go with record labels because the record label is going to be forcing them to go to photo shoots, forcing them to do videos for social media, forcing them to go out and do features and collab. and they're gonna take care of the promotion and the shows, concerts, whatever, right? But as long as you have a understanding of attention, you're good, because now you have the framework and the actual leverage that you need as an independent artist, because then you could start funneling those people that you have attention from to your actual music catalog, to your music videos, to your products that you're selling, to websites for your tickets, for your performances and your shows. You can't do any of that without attention. So this is the main like thing and the main ingredient for success as an independent artist. You need attention. Without attention, there's no point of making a bunch of more music if there's nobody listening to it, right? So focus on attention, and that's going to be one of the main pillars of the foundation that you're building. And lastly, it's volume. You need more music. You're probably not releasing enough music. You probably make a really good song and you're like, this is the one that's going to blow up. I don't need to make more music because this is the one. I'm going to become a millionaire with this song and it's going to make me famous, whatever, right? Usually it's not the case. Sometimes it is, and it's, a great experience for those one-hit wonders. But the whole point is that you're trying to build something that's going to last probably you and your future kids, and take care of your whole family in the future and yourself. So you need to have a big catalog. You need to have volume, because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, right? Something that you think is going to be the best song ever might not even get the traction that you expect. But one of the songs that you probably hate or don't think is going to do as well is probably the one that the actual market is enjoying. So you need to just give enough volume, and then that's going to kind of play itself out, and the market's going to tell you what they like. A quick example is what Drake has 500 plus songs out, or even more, who knows, right? And then the main hits that we know of is probably like around 10% of the full on catalog. So it's like that's already kind of showing you like the big difference of the ones that actually like blow up and people know of and can just like name the song out of nowhere. If you say, oh, name a Drake song, those are going to be in that 10% part of the catalog. And people forget that it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more energy than what they actually expect. So keep releasing more music and build that attention. And just using those things that I'm explaining is going to help you out so much. And it's actually going to get you to a better position as an independent artist. And if you're interested in more videos, just leave a comment. I'll start making more videos explaining the other fundamentals, such as the other companies that you could be going with to get more royalties. For example, if you're paying for promo on somebody else's YouTube channel that, promotes independent artists, and let's say the song that you have on that page is already capturing some traction and it's already at like at 10, 20, 50, 100,000 streams, you still get paid for that, because again, back to what we talked about, your intellectual property is your ownership. So if you own your intellectual property, you have the right to get paid for what even is being played on somebody else's YouTube channel. So that's just a second revenue stream that you're probably not even aware of. And we can go over this in a later video. And I'm gonna just try to keep these consistently, because I do actually want independent artists to succeed as an independent artist. And a lot of people that are independent artists, they start getting frustrated because they don't see the results coming in as quick as they expect. So they start kind of, procrastinating, not giving enough attention to their career. And at the end of it all, they just kind of disappear and we forget about that artist. So I hope it doesn't happen to you guys. So I'm going to be making more videos to help you guys out. And yeah, talk soon.